Good evening, everybody. Welcome to PatFacts. Patrick here. Pat on your back, personal fitness. Hope everyone's having a great week so far. First week of May. Building on what we talked about last week. Hopefully, you had some time to maybe check in, revisit how things are going. Thinking of that quote we talked about last week from our friend Classified. Today's the oldest we've ever been, and the youngest we'll ever be. And taking that and either like we approached it last week of knowing that taking all that experience and wisdom we have, because today's the oldest we've ever been, and applying it to our goals and our projects and what it is we're working towards, and understanding this is the youngest we'll ever be. Today's the youngest we'll ever be. Let's use that energy and that vigor and kind of get things rolling and moving, or continue them if you've been on that track with us towards that 2024 goal that you set out back in October with us, or whenever you've joined us. So if you're with us here live or recording, welcome. We always appreciate the support. And let me know in the comments, did you kind of take the meaning I kind of took from it last week, or did this quote create a new, different meaning for you? A couple of you said last week you needed some time to mull it over and see. So let's hear from you. What did you take from this quote? What does this line kind of signify for you? And again, hopefully you're able to take this and use that kind of month end, month beginning kind of time frame that we had last week to revisit things. How are things going? How is your goal progress? What needs to be tweaked, adjusted? What have you learned so far that you can maybe apply to other areas that maybe need a little boost, a little kick to kind of get them going, to make sure that you're on the right path. Let's use those times. And again, if you don't have scheduled check-ins, month end, month beginning is a great time, because like we said, the calendar flips. The calendar is changing every month. It's going to change for you. It's kind of designated, and you can kind of piggyback on that to have those times to check in. But again, know yourself. Maybe you need a bi-weekly check-in. Maybe you need it every week to check in. Every Sunday night. Some people will, our pal Todd Durkin has like a Sunday night ritual. Brendan Burchard, same thing, a Sunday night ritual where what worked this week, what didn't this week, and what am I looking towards in the upcoming week to do? So again, know yourself. It could be a combination of all those types of things, and that's great as well. Again, it's whatever works best for you. Hey, Bonnie, welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great week. Tonight, I thought we'd just almost like a bit of a reminder episode. I was working with a client earlier this week, and when I got to their house, I said, how are you doing? How's your day going? How are you feeling? And they said, oh, I'm okay, but I don't quite feel like myself. I just feel off. Not sure what it is. I'm not in pain. The injuries are good. Things have been great there. I just don't feel quite 100% today. And I said, that's okay. That's normal. Those days are bound to happen. So I thought we'd talk about tonight maybe a few options we could go over if you're having an off day. So you're just not quite feeling yourself. You're not quite feeling it. What can we do to hopefully help us stay on track? So we'll go through a few of those options tonight. With her option was to, let's just go through, and I think the workout will help me feel better. And by the end, she kind of felt a little more energized, a little more like herself, a little more loose, a little more ready to go. So the first option would be to give yourself 20 minutes. We usually say if you don't feel like going to the gym or don't feel like working out, give yourself 20 minutes. Try 20 minutes. Usually, probably like 8 to 9 times out of 10, once you get 20 minutes into a workout, by then the endorphins are flowing, you're feeling good, you got to go maybe a bit of a sweat on. The chances are pretty high that you'll just stick with the workout and finish it and go all the way through. So you'll get the workout in. Great stuff. In the off chance that you still just, something's not right. I don't feel it. I gave it 20 minutes. Something's not there today. Then at least you did 20 minutes of exercise, of activity. That's better than nothing by about 20 minutes. So it's still a victory. It's still a kind of a check in the box. You did your best, did what you needed. You decided my body needs a break today, or I need a break today, whatever the case is. But you gave it a shot. So on those off days, again, try to give yourself a little 20-minute challenge. I'm going to go at least 20 minutes into my workout, and then I'll check in again and see how I feel. And then again, see where you're at. Again, most people, by then they'll just continue on. But again, we all have our days and go through. So that's the first option, your kind of 20-minute challenge. The other option would be maybe you want to work out, but again, you're just not quite feeling yourself. Maybe the energy's down, whatever the case may be. We can change the intensity. So maybe we bring the weight down a little bit. Maybe instead of the medium band, we go to the thinner band, the thinnest band. Maybe we go down a few pounds in weights. Maybe we go from weights like a dumbbell to bands or tubing, which is a different type of resistance. Maybe we go from free weights to machines for today. There's, again, lots of different options there. Maybe we don't use any extra resistance and we go with body weight today because the energy, the it just isn't there. But I still want to stay in my routine. I still feel like I can finish my routine and get my workout in, but my usual energy just isn't there. That's okay. Again, take a step back. Maybe go back a few days or a couple weeks in your training journal. Maybe you follow that workout with those maybe reps and weights, and that's where maybe you just take a couple steps back for that day. So it's kind of like a maintenance day. You're still working hard and at least maintaining, if not maybe progressing a bit as well. But again, it's better than nothing. So we can change our intensity to maintain our consistency. And for a lot of us, that could be even more important, because if we lose the consistency, then the chances are we'll take more days off, or more likely to maybe string those days off in a row, and then it's harder to get back into that routine. So then a lot of us, again, end up completely falling off routine because we take too many of those days in a row. So for a lot of us, consistency is maybe the most important thing. The intensity we can play around with if we need to. As long as we're being consistent, we get our workout in, we can get that check in the box, we can give ourselves that pat on our back for finishing the workout that day, for sticking to the plan, especially on an off day when we didn't feel like ourselves. So the intensity can be another factor. Another factor you could change is maybe the duration. We talked earlier about giving yourself 20 minutes and see how things go. Maybe you shrink down the workout time. Maybe if you have an hour-long workout, maybe you say, you know what, today I'm just going to do a 30-minute challenge. Instead of an hour workout, I'm going to go 30 minutes just to get myself moving, get some results, get some things going, and then we'll kind of call it a day, and we'll get back into the routine tomorrow. So the timing or the duration can be changed as well. You may be able to tweak both of those last couple, where maybe your timing is less, but your intensity can go up a little bit because it's a shorter duration of time. Maybe you can kind of push through that 30 minutes of a little more intensity rather than an hour of irregular intensity. It's maybe kind of a moderate, maybe a 30-minute intense workout. Maybe you can kind of put up with that for that day. Maybe the intensity is lower. Maybe the timing is lower as well. Who knows? Again, there's no really right or wrong answer. It's going to be what's best for you on that day. The idea would be to take that day, do what you need to do with it, but maybe try to look at maybe why you're feeling that way, to try to get to the bottom of it. So hopefully you can prevent it from happening again, or maybe recognize it as it's approaching. Maybe the alternative would be, if you start to feel this maybe coming on again, maybe some of these modifications, these options, maybe if you do them a couple days earlier, maybe that will minimize how off you feel, or maybe it'll prevent it altogether. Maybe we scale back a bit, and that could be a little plateau or a little dip that you maybe can work through. Again, it's all about learning about yourself and what's working and what's not, and maybe recognizing signs of things to come so that you know how to plan and prepare for them. Like when you go back, we talk about our looking ahead 3-6 months to look for busy times and lighter times when you can, again, modify the workout a bit to make it work for your schedule, to try to maintain that consistency. Because again, that's sort of our best weapon really to get the results we're looking for and to achieve our goals is consistency. And then the other factors we can sort of modify and play around with if we need to. So again, those off days, challenge yourself to getting 20 minutes going if you're not feeling like working out that day. If you're feeling like working out but don't feel like yourself, again, we talked about lowering the intensity, maybe changing the duration. Maybe we change the type of training you're doing. So maybe your routine is scheduled to be, say, upper body weights today. Maybe instead of that, maybe you do some cardio. Maybe you go for a run or a brisk walk or hop on the bike, the rower, put on the rollerblades, whatever the case is. Maybe get a little long form cardio in. Maybe that's good for you, just to get out, get moving again. Maybe that extra long sort of, not thoughtless, but minimal thought, because we're going in straight lines, or we're keeping things pretty simple. Maybe that's enough of a mental break for you to help you again relax, recharge, re-energize a little bit, so the next day you can get back onto your routine. Maybe you just need to shake things up, just to clear your mind a little bit and to get away from it all, basically. Maybe instead of a strength workout, you do something low key, maybe a yoga workout, Pilates, stretch. Just do a bit of a stretch, warm up and a stretch for a little bit. Maybe you meditate. Maybe it's a combination of some of those things. Maybe you go hang out in the hot tub for a bit, or in the sauna, and do a little stretch afterwards, something like that. There's some different options there. The modality, the type of workout could change. Maybe it's supposed to be some cardio or some intervals. Again, so maybe you flip that day to do a little bit of strength training. Or maybe it's, instead of intervals, it goes to a longer duration cardio. It's a long, or vice versa. I'm supposed to do a 10K today, but I'm not feeling up to it. But you know what? I can probably get 30 minutes of interval training in, where I can work super hard and then recover, and then work hard and recover. So again, it takes you out of that thought process of, I have to go for an hour at this high intensity or this moderate intensity. Okay, I can do a little bit and then recover, do a little bit and recover. It doesn't seem so overwhelming of a task sometimes when it's broken down like that. And we're staying consistent, and we're training our recovery systems, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, are super important for us in recovering from exercise, but also in the healing process after workouts and in injuries and things like that. So again, you're still benefiting from that hugely, but we're just making the modality fit you for that day. So don't be afraid to switch that up. Again, just look at your schedule, your plan for the week. Maybe you take today's workout and put it to Friday to today, or maybe you push everything ahead a day, or maybe for this week, you kind of take today out, again, you replace it with something else, and then you carry on with the rest of your routine throughout the week. And there's lots of different options there, depending on how many times a week you work out and the different types of training you're doing. But there are different ways you can do that. Another option would be for an off day is maybe that's when you call your fitness coach, your wellness coach, your personal trainer, and say, hey, can we get a session in today? I'm just not feeling motivated. I need someone around to kind of guide me through it, or to give me some options, some different things to do. Maybe I need something different. Or maybe you hit the gym and you hit up a class, step class, a high-low class, pump class, strength training class, cardio, suspension training, spinning, whatever the case may be. Maybe get into a class with a group of people, and that social connection that is part of group fitness. Maybe that's what you need, just to be around some people, interact, laugh, maybe have some high fives, get around a good energy, have an instructor kind of leading the class. So maybe you don't have to think about the workout so much, but make sure you're still concentrating on what you're doing to get the most out of the class and the workout. Don't just gloss over and follow along. Think about the movements you're doing and the muscles you're using still to really get the most out of it. But let the instructor or the coach or the trainer maybe plan that day's workout for you. Sometimes the variety is the spice of life. That little difference can, again, shake things up for you a little bit. And again, just have that extra person or the group, if you're in that class setting or small group training setting, that accountability is there a little more. That motivation kind of is there from different factors, and that social connection that we all like to have. And it's been shown to help us feel better. Being around people, like-minded people, and communities like we have here can help build us up. But in person is even more. So again, maybe you hit that class, maybe you go to join that walking group that meets once a week and walks through the park or the trails in the woods. Um, Maybe you go to the pickup soccer game that goes on once a week at a local school or a field somewhere. Again, that social connection sometimes can help us. Maybe you call that accountability partner and say, hey, can we go for a walk today, or can we go to the gym together later, maybe work out or play squash or basketball or do something, go for a swim. I'm just not feeling myself today, but I want to be consistent. Is there something we can maybe do together to help each other go? So using the accountability partner or partners that you've kind of assigned to you, again, will help you. This is a chance where you guys can help each other through some of these plateaus and ruts and these downtimes that maybe we have. Phone them up and try to figure something out that you can do together. Or again, a way to say, hey, I'm not feeling it today. I'm having an off day. I'm supposed to do blank at about 5. Can you check in and make sure that I go? Can you give me a call just to kind of remind me and hopefully maybe get me through it to get me going so I can get those 20 minutes in at least? Then I'll see how I feel. But I'm not sure I can really get going. Can you, again, use that resource that you've created by having accountability buddies and accountability partners out there? Having some of those resources, again, all these options that we can have. Again, the idea will be for us to stay consistent and into our routines so that we can say, you know what, especially today, I didn't feel myself. I was really off. But you know what? I did it. I went to the gym, or I went for that walk, or I did that class. It wasn't maybe what I had scheduled, but I did something. Whereas maybe before I would have just said, not today. I don't feel it. I'll go tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and I'll go tomorrow. And then 3 weeks have gone by and you haven't been doing what you've been wanting to do. And then again, that negativity starts to creep in, which usually results in us not getting things accomplished that we wanted to accomplish. So look at all those ultimate resources for you. So looking at your frequency, the training type, again, maybe getting a social component into it, going to a class or accountability partner. Again, maybe the instructor of the class or having your personal trainer or coach meet with you to, again, give you that motivation, but also maybe just a break from planning or following a program that you usually do, letting them plan something for you. Again, takes the maybe creative pressure off of you, but also sometimes that can be different. I've had clients where once we get to a certain point and their form is okay and they're comfortable and confident, they'll go work out themselves maybe 2 days a week. And the third day a week, say, we'll meet together and I'll give them something totally different. So they've got a weight program to follow, say Monday, Wednesday. Friday we'll meet and we'll do a circuit, or we'll do interval training, or we'll do a stretch class, or we'll do a half strength training, half stretch, or cardio and strength. It'll be something a little different every week, just to kind of shock them a little bit or surprise them or keep the systems guessing, and just for some variety for them. So it's not quite the same thing. Some people get a little tired of it. It gets a little stagnant sometimes. So you can use all those resources out there. And remember, if you need to, another option could be to just take the day off. Maybe you just really do need that day to say, you know what, I just got to recover today. I just need to relax. I need to recharge. I need to get through a couple things and then get back on track tomorrow. That's okay. Again, try if you can to go through maybe some of these other options first. But if it's just not there and it's just not working, and you just know, you know what, today, nope, it's not happening. Take the day. Don't beat yourself up about it. Sometimes we just need a day to recover, to recharge, to maybe sort some things out, to clear our minds a little bit so we can get back to it and get back on track. And the one thing I would suggest for you is, if that's the case, try to have a plan for the next day to get back into it. Okay, I'm going to miss today's workout. It's not working for me. Today was supposed to be a leg day. What's tomorrow supposed to be? Can I incorporate today into tomorrow? Or can I incorporate today into some other time, maybe this week? Or can I modify it somehow? Or at least what can I do to make sure tomorrow I get back on track? Whether it's what I have scheduled, Or maybe it's some kind of modification that we talked about earlier, one of those other options. To maybe you're here, your regular day would be here. How can I gradually get back to that level of intensity or that type of training? Again, maybe you need a couple days of those lower key things to build you back up, to stay consistent, to get back on track, but maybe to let your body and mind still recover a little bit more. And then maybe day 3 or 4, you can get back onto that regular routine. But you'll know, okay, I took a day off, I had a couple of days of less intensity, but I got back on track. I got back into the routine quicker. And that builds that self-confidence and that self-esteem. It keeps us motivated. It helps us believe in ourselves to know we can maneuver some of these difficult times and get through it and get back on track pretty quickly. So again, when something else comes up, we know we can handle it. We've handled it before, we'll handle it again. There's lots of options for us. There's no kind of one way to do it. It's the best way that works for me that you're going to say. What do I need right now? What options can I try? What can I go through? And how can I get back on track? So try to create that bit of a plan. Maybe that is your consistency for today. Say, if today is not, I'm not going to do it, I can't. I did my 20 minutes, it still wasn't there. It's just not today. Okay, I'm going to spend the rest of this time where I would be maybe finishing my workout or my activity. Let's get pen and paper. Let's plan what we're going to do tomorrow. Let's look at our schedule and see. Okay, today was supposed to be upper body. Tomorrow was lower body. That's a pretty intense workout too. I'm not sure if I'll be quite there. You know what? Maybe tomorrow I'm gonna get on the bike and go for a nice bike ride. And I'll get out for 30 minutes or something. Just ride the bike out around. Maybe try to pick a route that's not super hilly. So I can just get back into it, get some fresh air, get back on track. Check that box of finishing the activity for the day. And I'm still using the legs mostly. Still will get some benefit from that too. And my body will move. I'll feel better. Hopefully that'll energize me a little more for the next day. And then I can progress into that routine a little bit more. Or maybe I just need to plug and play some of the days, move the puzzle pieces around. Maybe I move leg day ahead a couple days. Maybe I can do arms tomorrow because my legs are a little tired today. That's what's got me feeling off. My legs just don't seem to have the energy. But maybe I take a break today. I do upper body tomorrow. And then maybe the next day I'll be ready to get back into legs and lower body training. Again, there's so many different options there to play around with, but you just have to use the time and incorporate them. So if we're not using the whole time to work out that we have scheduled, let's use it to, again, plan for the next day to get us back on track. And who knows, you may need to think of a couple different scenarios because maybe you'll wake up tomorrow and feel great. 100%. Let's hit those legs. Let's go. Let's hit that routine. Or maybe you still feel a little bit off, or you need some time to recharge and refresh. And maybe something else will come up in your life that has you feeling a little bit off or not quite yourself, or your focus isn't quite where it needs to be. Then again, you've got that plan in place. Okay, I'm going to take option B from yesterday's plan to get me back on routine, to get me back into my consistency, because this consistency overall is what's going to help me the most. I can vary intensity and modalities and things as I go along, but the consistency is really what I need to focus on to be as successful as I can be in achieving my goal. So what will help me stay as consistent as possible? And that's sort of the end result that we're looking for. So I hope that was helpful. Hope that gave you a few options. Also, maybe just as a bonus option, maybe looking at some self-care we talked about a few weeks ago. Maybe it's time to book a massage or to book a follow-up with your physio appointment or your physiotherapist. Maybe it's time again to hit the hot tub, have a sauna day, or work on your self-care a little bit. Maybe it's time to have a nap. Maybe you just need to lie down, have a nap, have a rest, get some extra sleep. Because again, that's when the body and mind is really at rest. You can really recover and re-energize and heal itself to get back to where we need it to be. So maybe that's an option for you as well on some of those days. So hopefully it gives you some ideas and some options and some ways to plan through what will just likely happen. We're all going to have days where we feel off. Some days we're just a little bit off. Some days we're really off and not ourselves. So again, you can pick and choose some of those options to fit that scenario that you're going through in those days. And if you have any ways you work through those off days that we have, from time to time. Again, please let us know in the comments here in the chat. What do you do to get through those off days? What are some of your strategies to make the most of that time, to try to maintain that consistency as best we can, so we stay on that road towards our 2024 goal that we have set for ourselves, so that again we can share with each other and help each other grow and evolve, or maybe have ideas. Maybe some way you get through an off day will help someone else that's watching and listening, and maybe that'll give them a little bit of influence towards something for them, or a little bit of an idea that maybe will spark something for them. That won't quite work for me, but I bet if I modify that a little bit, I can make use of their idea and make it more tailored towards me. It'll inspire them to maybe think of something. It'll spark that idea for them, maybe they're stuck on. So that's it for tonight, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. As always, I really appreciate you being here and supporting us, and being here to better yourself. That's what we're all here for, to ascend every day, ascend till the end, to get better every day. Please feel free to share this with anyone who might be interested in making themselves better, or joining our community here to be operationally fit and to spread that positivity pandemic. Thanks, Bonnie. Thanks for being here. Have a great evening as well. Thanks again for everyone tuning in live or recording. Again, as always, chime in the chats, the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you have any future topics you'd like us to discuss, if you have any questions you'd like us to try to answer here on PatFacts, definitely let us know here in the comments, or send a DM to me on socials. It's at POYBFit on pretty much all platforms that we broadcast to, except for LinkedIn. But if you look up my name, Patrick Savory, it'll come up there as well. Or Pat on Your Back Personal Fitness on platforms as well. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a comment. Let us know different things you'd like us to talk about here on PatFacts as well. But again, that's it for tonight, everyone. Hope you had a good Star Wars Day last weekend. I did. I went to see Episode 1 on Star Wars Day. It was the 25th anniversary, so it was in theaters. So it's always fun to watch that in theaters, and a little time away, a little me time, just to zone out for a couple hours and enjoy some entertainment. So hopefully you had a good Star Wars Day. You've had a good May so far. Here's to a great spring, and continue our journey towards our great 2024 and accomplishing that goal at the end of 2024 that we have set out for ourselves. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe. Take care. Remember, always make yourself the priority that you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. We'll see you next week.